Leigh Kaplan is a young woman in her 20s, a physical therapist who loves basketball and has big plans for the future. But at the age of 25, she was given life-changing news. Diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, her future would inevitably change. Facing uncertainty and fear, Leigh found new strength that led her on a journey to the top of the rock.
2 weeks after my 25th birthday, it's a really big landmark in my head. I'm walking to class with my friends and I'm going like this in one eye and realize I can't see out of one eye. It's completely blurred. I went to one of my professors and sort of went through these things that I was going through, and I really vividly remember her eyes like widen, this major look of concern, and she was like, "You need to get that looked into." And everything after that escalated super fast.
A young fit athlete who loves hitting the hardwood shooting hoops, Leigh was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis in October 2013. MS is an unpredictable and often disabling disease of the central nervous system and can result in blurred vision, tremors, and muscle paralysis.
I don't think that there's anything more terrifying than being alone and hearing like you're 25 years old and your life is changing in a second. And you have to figure out how to still live the life that you really want to live and keep doing the things you love, but just finding different ways to manage them.
For Leigh, that meant keeping up with the love of her life, basketball.
I did go into this saying there are things I would be willing to give up in my day-to-day, and I am going to find a way that basketball stays in my life. I mean, everyone just has those things that they just love, and on the court I just feel this sort of like strength, like your jersey is sort of like a Superman cape.
Leigh is a superhero in her own right. As a physical therapist, she uses her condition and the power of positivity to better help her patients.
The hospital setting is definitely seeing patients at their weakest. And I think I always was a compassionate person, but having been in the hospital as a patient, not as someone working in the hospital, really puts things into perspective. I think it's a blessing and a curse to be so medically aware. When I'm working with these patients at their weakest, at a very vulnerable state, which anyone's in the hospital, I really feel like I can relate to all of them, and I think it's really been a way that MS has made maybe a positive impact in my life. It's really helped my patient care and my ability to relate to people.
She's also using her powers of good to raise money for the MS Society in the hopes that one day they'll find a cure.
Maybe 2 months after I was diagnosed, and really I hadn't even begun to process everything. I don't know, I was maybe still in denial. I had a few friends from college say, "Oh, we found this event we really want to do for you. It's called Climb to the Top. You climb 66 flights to the top of Rockefeller Center." And I was like, well, if you guys are doing it, I want to do it.
This year, Leigh and 33 people on Team Kapnis have raised close to $30,000 for the MS Society.
You can't control anything about MS. It's the most frustrating thing that I don't know how I'm going to wake up. I don't know how I'm going to feel hourly. But this is a way that I can make a difference and feel like, you know, there's some reason all of this happened. I meet a lot of people now with MS, and they're just some of the strongest people I know. So it's not like, oh, I'm going to end up in a wheelchair in 10, 15 years the way it used to be, but it's still these people that are having to go through their lives and not give up the things that they love, but really find a different way to continue to do them. I don't want people with diseases like MS to be afraid what people are going to think, to be afraid that people are going to view them negatively. And I think if you're quiet about it and you hide it, that you can't make any difference and you can't change people's views on it. But really my advice is to face it head on, don't face it alone. Everyone gets thrown curveballs. I realize that this is an immense one for me, and it's one that doesn't seem to slow down, but you only get this one shot at life, so you can't have something bad happen to you and then take it as, you know, the downfall for the rest of your life. You still have to make the best of it. Now I'll have days where I just feel so crappy, and then I put on my Jordans or whatever, step on the court, and I really just feel like so much stronger, like I'm still doing what I love.
What causes multiple sclerosis is still unknown. Visit nationalmssociety.org for information, resources, and opportunities to get involved in finding a cure for MS. Coming up next, we'll meet a mother on a quest to save the environment and keep her daughter's memory alive.